it to go live in a couple of minutes, but it's kicked in now, so I'm not quite sure what the crack with that was, but luckily I'm ready anyway. Hello everybody who is going to be watching this later on, and basically what I'm doing is I have got one of my meads that has edible glitter in, and I am going to live pour it for your ass. So first things first is, I'll show it you. Doesn't look all that glittery, does it? But all the glitter set down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip it upside down, and I'm going to give it some agitation. Flip it over, and you should be able to see how flipping awesome that looks. That's no special effects, that's what it actually looks like. It's flavourless, you can't taste it, it just looks great. And again, if you leave it for a while, it does settle back out, but obviously for the purpose of the video, I do want to have all of the gold. And I picked that up off Amazon, I believe, about a tenner, £10 or however much that is in dollars, I'm not sure. But yeah, there you go. So let's pour it. Normally I'd start a live a little bit later once the kids have gone to bed, but last time it ran over for like over an hour, so I don't really want to be running over for an hour. Probably about half an hour on this one, I reckon. And what I am going to do is I am going to just have a quick chat about what I'm doing at the moment. So this is just a normal honey mead. So it's a traditional mead, but obviously with added edible glitter. Now, someone in the comments asked, does it come out in your poo? And believe me, I actually did check. Like, I had a quick look and I couldn't see anything. You know, but at the same time, it's your body gets it rid of it some other way. However, I don't know exactly how they get rid of it, but they somehow do. But it just looks awesome. Absolutely love it. It actually worked out better than I expected it to. Again, it's just a honey mead, so it just hello. How we doing? I'm just sampling one of my meads. It's got edible glitter in it, so it looks a bit posh, but it's just a honey mead from my homebrew channel. And what do you think to that? Is that something you drink? It's really sweet. It's yummy. This is it in the bottle. Let's look at that. That looks magic, doesn't it? So it is around 14.1%. Can you shout me out? Shout out to You Can't See Me. I wouldn't know how to shout you out if I tried, mate. How do I do that? Is there a way that I do it, or do you mean just shout you out, as in shout you out? Pin, report, remove. Oh, I don't want to remove. Channel activity. Put user in a timeout. Oh my god, I didn't even know I could do all this stuff. Well, we don't need to do any of them. That looks like a potion. It does, mate. It really does. It has no flavour whatsoever in the edible meat. Bloody hell! The edible glitter has no flavour. It's odourless. You don't even notice it in your mouth when you take a sip. At first, when I tried it before bottling, when I put this in, I thought I could taste it, kind of like a grittiness, but it must have just been my imagination because I couldn't actually taste it. But yeah, 14.1% this one. And there is a full video on my YouTube channel if you want to go check it out. But yeah, it's all good. It's all gravy. I just can't get over how flipping awesome it looks. No, mate, it's not beer. It's mead. So it's wine made with honey. It's the most, it's the most ancient alcohol form that we know of. It's called mead. Essentially, it's a wine, but it's made with honey instead of grapes. Never been an alcohol person, but I am a weed head. Okay, mate. Well, whatever floats your boat, you know. Everyone's got their own little vice, haven't they? But this will trip you out if you're stoned, buddy. That shit's gonna do mad stuff to your brain. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. I probably could have added a bit more honey, to be honest. It doesn't taste as sweet as I remember. But eventually all this will just settle down to the bottom. It's already started now. It's lost its magic. It just looks like a solid gold bar now. But you just give it a little bit of a nudge and voila! There you go. I hope you succeed. Nice one, dude. I hope you all the best as well. It's definitely nice. The problem with mead is it's so sweet, it's moreish. Now, I tend to drink mead and beer at the same time. So then you go from the sweet to the bitter, sweet to the bitter. But it all depends on what your preference is. Some people don't like sweet drinks. Other people love sweet drinks. It's just down to preference, isn't it? So in the grand scheme of things, I don't really have a sweet tooth. But when it comes to a mead, I like a sweet mead. I don't really like a dry mead. It's not really my cup of tea. But there you go. That is the liquid gold. I'm going to finish this glass and get out of your hair. Can you... What is the picture behind you? So the picture behind me, this is called the Tree of Life, also known as Ysidril. Can you subscribe, please? What would you like? What do you mean, can I subscribe? So, brother, Bad Animation. Hello, Bad Animation. How are you doing, dude? So currently got two meads on the go. I've got a juniper berry and bored out my mind, honestly. Do a shot. No, I'm not going to do a shot. Bored out of your mind. Yeah, I find sometimes it's very easy to get bored, which is why you need a hobby. So take up home brewing. That'll keep you very, very busy. And the reward is your own beverage at the end of it that you've made in your kitchen or wherever you choose to do it. It's not really something that you can shot, dude. You know, it's not that strength of alcohol to be able to warrant doing a shot of it. But yeah, so I've got a juniper berry and vanilla mead on the go at the moment, and I started another one the other day which decorated my ceiling because some of the fruit got stuck in one of the airlock thing that I'd built for it, and the pressure had built up. It fired the airlock off with a load of the flipping fruits, and it all stuck to the flipping ceiling, and I just couldn't believe it. Tell you how you start. So, without being like so anal about it and being like, do this, do that, do this, do that, check out a couple of my videos on the YouTube channel, Fermented World. I do a basic mead. You really need a basic a bit of equipment. There's a little bit of science to it, and it's one of those where you literally just throw things together. So think about it. The basics of any alcohol is going to be 3 ingredients. It's going to be your sugar, your water, and your yeast. That is all you need. So the sugar that I use is honey. So that's what I ferment with, the honey. Or so say in wines they use grape juice, and then they add sugar as well. Do you have a VR? No, I don't have a VR. Appreciate the subscription, mate. Cheers. So yeah, you just lob stuff in a demijohn or a bucket. You can get fermenting buckets pretty cheap off eBay and places like that. Just have a go. Yeah, I mean, if you drink beer, beer's a bit more complicated. I do beer as well. I've got some videos of that on how to brew your own beer. Pardon me. I've got a lot of videos of mead, because mead's a lot easier to brew. It's a lot simpler. The steps, it takes less time. Like, so for a brew day of beer, that's a 5-hour process. You know, there's no way around it. It takes me 5 hours to brew a beer, and I brew in small batches, so I only get like 20 bottles, but each one of those bottles only costs me £1, £1. So a litre of this mead, I think it cost about £2.80 a litre to make. So it's pretty good. And again, it's 14.1%, which a couple of glasses of that and you're going to be like, you're going to be on your way, aren't you? So yeah. Have you seen Star Wars? Yes, years ago, mate. Absolute years ago. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely years and years ago I saw Star Wars. I think I actually went to the cinema to watch The Phantom Menace when I was a fair bit younger. But yeah. So the other mead that I've got going at the moment was the strawberry and banana. I've also put in some cherries into a bourbon.
Have you told them about how it exploded when it was on
Yeah. So my daughter's reminded me that they told me that the thing had exploded and it was all over the ceiling. There is a video on the YouTube channel, so you can go and watch that and see the damage it caused. It was flipping everywhere. Blobs of it stuck to the ceiling and everything. You use honey. Is there a kind I should avoid? Yeah, so what is normally called clear honey, avoid that. Go for blossom honey. It costs a little bit more, but it is better. Now, I ferment with cheap honey called blossom honey by Hilltop. If you're in the UK, Hilltop honey. I use their blossom honey to ferment with, and I've started recently using a little bit more expensive honey to actually finish it off with. So when the brew's finished, you add something called fermentation stoppers, which allows you to then add more sweetness to it without the yeast continuing to ferment it. So there's local honey that I get hold of, and with the local honey, it just tastes so different. It is absolutely phenomenal, but you do pay a premium for it. But it makes the mead so much better, if you know what I'm saying. What was your worst injury? Oh my God. I really don't know, dude. I've crashed into trees whilst mountain biking a few times. Like proper body checked. But yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't really know. It's a bit of a bizarre question, but I am here anyway, so I will answer, yeah. What about you? What do you guys like drinking? If you was to open a beverage tonight, what would you be drinking? Would it be beer, a glass of wine, mead maybe, or cider? I even brew cider. That's easy to get started doing because you can do what I call cheat cider. So you literally get apple juice from the store, throw in some fucking yeast, and at the end of it, you have cider. It's as simple as that. It won't be a sweet cider like you get all these fancy ones and things like that, but yeah, it's doable. I mean, once I even fermented a can of Dr. Pepper. Do you know why? Because no one told me I couldn't. So I just did it. It tasted like shit, but it did. I did it. A nice aged whiskey. Now you're talking. Usually from a sherry barrel. Oh yes. So I drink bourbon quite a lot. That's my off the shelf kind of whiskey where I sit, and I'll have bourbon with a couple of beers. But I do have a couple of really nice bottles of whiskey from a distillery in Wales called Penderyn, and they're a little bit more expensive than what I'm used to paying and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually put some cherries in some bourbon as well, so I need to check on that. Actually, I don't even think I uploaded the video for that yet. But yeah, whiskey is definitely the one, dude. Absolutely with you on that. Cannot fault anyone for liking their whiskies. So I love that whiskey. I got an 18-year-old bottle for my 18th. Oh wow, an 18-year-old bottle. Bloody hell! I bet that's smooth as a baby's arse crack. So I'll show you the ones that I've got. So I've tried. I know drinks are for drinking, right? But I have tried to start collecting certain things as well, because they gain value rather quickly. So this one here, this is a reet posh one, and I bought this because it coincided with my granddad's anniversary of his death. So obviously this is the icons of Wales are the ones that I've been collecting, and this is an absolute fantastic whiskey. Sadly, you cannot buy this anymore. Well, you can, but it'll cost you like, pardon me, about £300. And yeah, that's a lot of money for a whiskey that I think I paid, I want to say £52. But I grabbed two at the time because I thought, oh, that's going to go quick, that one. So that's that one. And then there's another one, which is by Penderyn again, which is called the Headliner. And then there's the other one that's it's got some. See, I'm half Welsh, but I can't speak Welsh. I don't know what this means. And this is like a football one, single malt. But again, you pay a little bit more for the decent whiskies for sure. Absolutely. Two of those Penderyn ones are still available as well, off Master of Malt website. And I don't know whether you use the top cashback app, but they give you cashback on that as well, so you get a little bit back. Who's your favorite wrestler? Fucking hell, dude. Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate. 316. He was my favorite all the way through, man. I mean, obviously everyone, like when I was really young, it was Hulk Hogan. Just, and then obviously I clocked on to Stone Cold, and yeah, that was it. Quite honestly, son, I think you're a piece of trash. Yeah, it was just a badass. Yeah, but I mean, those days are way past me. I don't watch wrestling anymore. Good bottles are a great investment. Yeah, well, that's the thing. So normally I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to save it. I'm going to drink it. But I bought two of each one to drink on special occasions like anniversaries, Christmas, and stuff like that. But the others are going to be kind of like a sort of an investment for my kids. So yeah, they might not have a great deal of worldly goods from me to sell or make any money when I pass away, but they will have some good whiskey. I like him too. Mine's Randy. Orton or John Cena. Well, I can tell it's John Cena because of your name, yeah. You can't see me. Wasn't John Cena in like some movies as well? I'm sure he was in a couple of movies, hasn't he? He seems to be doing pretty well for himself. So, how many of you have tried home brewing yourself? It's getting a bit dark in here now, isn't it? Fast and Furious. I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I know I saw him in a film. God, it was a couple of years ago, easily. But I think he was a fireman or something. Was that John Cena? I ain't got a clue, mate. Haven't got a Scooby-Doo. So I had to put one of my beers into a thing called a cold crash today. What it does is it drops all the sediment, all the yeast particles, it drops them down to the bottom. So then when you pour the beer off into your bottles, you don't get loads of that stuff gunking it up and stuff. And I've also got a blueberry and raspberry sour ale on the go. They're my own recipes. They do get uploaded. All my recipes are shared for free. All my content's free. No. I never thought about it before. My parents brewed some cider a couple of years back, and it got me legless. Magic. Yeah, absolute magic, dude. I like it. So it's one of those things, right? It's a really good hobby to get into because it's productive. Like, so if you drink a reasonable amount, say at the weekend, it will save you a fortune and it's fun. Like, so I always say the best part about it is that first time you sit in your back garden and you open a beer or you open something that you've just created yourself with your own hands, you know, and it's all finished, you've waited, it's the patience that takes the longest, and it's just brilliant. It looks like orange juice as a little potion. No, it's not orange juice. It is quite kind of a bit like orange juice looking at it now, isn't it? I'm not sure you can see it very well now because of the lighting. Lou says, where do your recipes get uploaded? So they're on my Fermented World channel, Fermented World YouTube channel. I have a video for each recipe and brew that I do in sections as and when it is being done. And on the original video, the recipe is always listed at the bottom there. So it's kind of like in the description of the video, if you get what I mean. Always upload my recipes. Some of them I don't even trial before uploading. So some of them are like version 1, where it's like it's the first time I've tried it. So it could be absolute shite, but it could, like most of them. I don't think I've ever had one that was really, really crap, apart from, well, actually there was 2 that I could mention, right? It's telling a lie. So one of them was a lemon and lime, and I was drinking it with a couple of mates, and one of them goes, "Fuck me, Gaz," he says, "it tastes like flipping washing up liquid." And at that moment I drank it and it did. It actually did taste like some lemon and lime washing up liquid. But yeah, it was. It's one of those things. You live and learn. Give me a hell yeah, hell yeah. There you go. Recipes uploaded. Corso. I don't know what that means, but hello, Celia. How are you? Shelia? Whatever your name is, hello. Sorry about that. Probably butchered your name, but oh, nice. What equipment do I need for fermentation? So you need an airtight vessel. So you can either use, let me go and get one. It'd be a lot easier to explain. So this is the basics of what you'll need to start your homebrew journey. This is called a demijohn in the UK. If you're from America, it's called a carboy. I don't know why they call it a carboy. I don't even know why we call it a demijohn. But so it's basically a glass vessel, and what you need is rubber bung, and this is an airlock. And once you've finished putting your concoction inside here, you then stick this airlock on, keep it nice and sanitary. And you can pick these up in kits, actually. eBay, Amazon, you know, they pretty much do them in kits. Sometimes you can get them off eBay secondhand. Now, I actually traveled quite far to go and get a couple of these because it was just a bargain compared to what they could normally charge you. But sometimes you can buy them sometimes in a kit per se. Yeah, and then all you do is you just put your honey, your water, and your yeast in there, give it a really good mix, and Bob's your uncle. In a week to 10 days, you'll have your dry mead. So if you like dry wines, then that'll be good for you to drink it straight away. But if you want it sweet like a traditional mead, like I make, because I do have a sweet tooth when it comes to meads, then you'll add something called fermentation stoppers, and then add some more honey to sweeten it back up. It's great that you're sharing your passion. Yeah, so it's funny, right? Because here's the story of my homebrewing in a nutshell. My mum bought me this homebrewing kit. What do you recommend doing? Personally, I would do a mead first. Once you understand the fundamentals, it's a lot more simple to then get your head around beer. So you can buy beer kits, right, that have something we call liquid malt extract, which is like a syrup, and all you do to that syrup is add water. But this is going to be on a, like, if you do a mead in a demijohn, it's going to be in a much smaller scale than having to bottle like 40 bottles of other stuff, because again, you need the equipment to be able to then have 40 bottles. Not everybody's got the money to then go shell out loads of money on bottles and stuff like that. So start small, because you might not get it right the first time, but don't worry. We don't fail, we learn. That's my philosophy. You learn where you went wrong and you take that away with you. So you didn't actually fail, you know. You may have to put it down the toilet, but again, you know, I've got a mate of mine, he started brewing, and he is absolutely flying now. He tried my Viking's Blood recipe. He brought me a bottle of it round. I actually did a live video of it. The last live video, I think, was me drinking that, and it was bloody gorgeous. He did so well. I'm so proud of him. Oh, nice. What equipment? I've read that. It's great to see you showing your passion. All right, so yeah, so the reason actually got brewing was my mum bought me a beer kit for my birthday one year, and it was just like some standard liquid malt extract beer, and I didn't do anything with it, and I kept putting it off, and eventually I stuffed it in a cupboard. I was like, nah, can't be arsed. And years, like nearly a year and a half went by. It had gone past its best before, and yeah, so it had gone past its best before, and I'd lockdown hit when everything was kicking off with all that stuff with COVID. So I wasn't able to ride my bike, which is what my normal hobby was. So I thought I need to do something. So I ended up digging this kit out with all the stuff that she'd bought me for it, and I brewed this beer. Do you know what? You know, once I was in the back garden and it was a hot day, and I cracked open that beer with a couple of mates, and it was just phenomenal. It was like, wow, I bloody made this. And I haven't stopped since. I've brewed all sorts since then. Do you need to have a large cooling space, or how do you regulate the temperature? So, no, not really. Most houses, well, it depends where you are, I suppose. So I'm in the UK, so most houses tick over around at this time of year, tick over at about 16 to 20 degrees, you know, with fluctuations up and down. So I normally ferment everything at 20 degrees, unless the recipe specifically says it needs to be lower or higher. When I do brew my beers, I do actually have a beer fridge. I have a fridge that's just for beer, and sometimes I have to take the beer out of it to then brew inside it, because it's literally, so lagers, right? Lagers are a really strange beer, because they're a European kind of beer, and some of the European countries are a lot cooler, so it's easier for them to brew it. Do you carbonate beer, or does that involve? Okay, I'll get to that in a sec, dude. Yeah, about the carbonation. So yeah, I brew everything at 20 degrees. If it's too warm in the house, say we're having a heat wave and it's 24 outside, I will keep all the doors and windows closed, and it regulates the heat inside. Now, if they do start to get a little bit warm, I just lower them. I just put them, because normally they're on my like side unit thing where my brewing station is. I just end up lowering them down, which then puts them cooler, you know, because obviously heat rises. So you don't need any specific cooling and stuff like that, unless you get into brewing beer and then you're brewing it during the summer. Then you need like heat mats and something called an ink bird, which will regulate the refrigerator. That's where things get a little bit complicated. So don't worry about that just yet. But I highly recommend it as a hobby, because you could make something as splendid as this, look, and then just, you know, you could be the envy of your friends and be just like, look. Oh, it's all actually settling down now, isn't it? Settling down to the bottom. You know, you could share it. And that's what I like as well. You see, I share mine out with a lot of friends just to get their feedback, really. Do you carbonate beer, or is that involved in brewing? So there's a few ways you can carbonate your home brew. You can force carbonate it with like a gas canister, so to speak. But I do it a natural way. So once the fermentation is finished and the yeast has finished fermenting the beer, what I then do to each bottle is add 1 teaspoon of sugar, just normal granulated sugar. And what this does is it makes the yeast go, well, hey, there's more sugar. It then consumes that sugar, which creates CO2, but you've trapped it in the bottle, so it's forced into the beverage. So it's called natural carbonation, that is. Is there any way to measure the amount of alcohol in your meads or beers? Yes, there is. So it's something called a hydrometer. Let me just go grab it and I shall explain. Okay, so this is the most basic form of hydrometer. And what this does is it measures gravity in a liquid. So, or you could say it measures the density of a liquid. So for example, say I've filled this up with sugary water. This thing's going to be bobbing around up here. And it's probably going to be like around this mark, say it's at the 60. So then there's an equation you can do, or you can use like some sort of calculator app called Brewer's Friend, I think it's called. So then you take that reading there while it's bobbing around with all the sugar in. Then the yeast consumes all of the said sugar. So this then drops down. You then take the reading that it's there. Let's say that it's gone down to 1.000. And you do the thing with the calculator on the app, or if you're good at maths, there is an actual equation you can do. I am terrible with maths, so I don't do it. I just cheat. And that will then tell you what the alcohol content is. So for example, with one of my meads and the amount of honey that I normally use, you're looking at around a start gravity of 1.100. So when all that sugar's been consumed, it's then 1.000, or it can actually go a little bit further than that, down to 0.990, which means there's absolutely no sugar left. And in between those 2 points is the measurement of how much alcohol's in. You see what I'm saying? So once all the sugar's gone, that's when you then check it out again and you double check your hydrometer reading. You can even buy digital hydrometers. I've actually got one, only because I won it on a competition though, because I'm certainly not spending £100 and something on a flipping gadget. Nope, not me. I brew my own beer just to try and save money and because I enjoy it. But yeah, it's definitely economical in that respect. Because you see, most people, when you say that you're a home brewer, they think that, oh, that's going to be strong. It's like it's no stronger than what your normal wine would be, you know. Or, you know, it's the same as you can. Obviously, you can add more sugar to it in whatever form to make the beer or mead or the wines or the cider stronger. There's always the ability to make it stronger, but obviously, it gets to a certain point when you can almost taste the alcohol. It's not very well masked. No, you see, I don't distill. I don't distill. I only ferment. So that's a little bit different, that is. So what they do there is they take something that is fermented and then they distill it. So my understanding is basic of it. But they put it into something that heats it up, and then there's something that condenses it, and then they take what is condensed out, and then that's your, because it's removing the what's the it's removing the water from it, so that makes it stronger, if you get what I'm saying. Vodka uses potatoes from what I remember. Possibly. I am not sure what vodka's made of. I do know people do make potato vodka. I've actually got somebody who I follow on Instagram who's made some. He sent me a video clip, and he made some out of potatoes. But again, I don't drink vodka, so I wouldn't make it. If I was going to do anything, it would be whiskey. But again, distilling can be dangerous because the problem you get is at the beginning of the distilling process, you are creating methanol. Now, methanol is the alcohol that will turn you blind. So that's always something that's put me off it. Hey, thank you for the value. I'll be checking your channel now. Have a nice evening. And you, Lou. Take it easy. Thanks for stopping by. A pleasure. Cheers. And yeah, with that, this glass is nearly done. I am a little bit over the 30 minutes that I did have set aside for this. But yeah, go brew your own mead. Go have some fun. All you need is a demijohn and an airlock. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it is Fermented World Gaz. You can always shoot me a message on there if you're unsure. I do like daily help people get through brews and answer questions as best as I can. It's just what I like doing. I like getting people into my hobby because then they're going to be as happy as me when they open that bottle and then the sweet nectar just of the nectar of the gods just comes down, and you know, I'm only one glass in and I'm already got a little bit of a buzz on, and it's not even a massive glass, but again, 14%. Most cleaning alcohols use 1% methanol to prevent people drinking it. Yeah, it's a nasty stuff. So I've got a camping stove that I go out randomly wandering about and just go cook shit in random places. I've only just started doing it, and that uses methanol as its fuel. It smells nasty, dude. It doesn't smell like something you'd want to consume. So actually, here is one of my beers that I brewed. This is a cherry wheat beer, and it's 8%. Pardon me. And that's absolutely lovely. The recipe's on the Fermented World YouTube channel. Thanks for sharing, brother. You seem like a passionate fellow. I'll look into your account. Yeah, excellent, mate. Do it, yeah? Brilliant. Thank you very much. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go and take the dog out because he's been waiting for hours, and I knew that I had to do this, so I've kind of left him whinging in the corner. So cheers to you, and I shall catch you all later. Take it easy.